Welcome to A New Earth, Awakening to Your Life's Purpose, a worldwide web event.
Because that is their language.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so your first realization your first interest needs to be in any situation with your child. Okay, there's the external situation, there's what the child is doing or is not doing but should be doing, or screaming, or whatever it is, or not eating, not wanting to go to bed, whatever children do. But your first interest needs to be, okay, what's my inner state right now? Am I accepting this moment, no matter what form it is? Am I saying, what I suggest is the little mantra that I recommend is to ask yourself whether you can be there as the space for whatever your daughter does. Can I be the space for this? This is a general thing that many people will find helpful, no matter what situation you go into in life, at work, at home, wherever. The present moment, am I able to accept this moment as it is, or am I saying, this should be different, you should behave differently, but she's not behaving differently. She's behaving the way she's behaving right now. You need to accept that right now, she's screaming, if that's what she does. There it is. Can I be the space for that? And then you see her screaming. This is related to the little exercise we had earlier, where you felt yourself becoming transparent to an irritating external situation, so that you don't have a reactive barrier inside you.
That's hard to do, though, when your child is screaming, because your immediate instinct, I would think, is to stop the child from screaming, to resist the screaming, to try to prevent more screaming. And so the resistance of that, the angst and the anxiety of that creates more screaming.
More screaming.
Because if you could just be calm enough to allow your calmness to then calm the child. That's easier said than done, though.
Yes, that's your spiritual practice. You don't need any other spiritual practice for the next for the next yes, for the next few years. That is your main it's far better than going to a monastery and meditate all day long. It's much more effective. Make that into your spiritual practice. And then you will see, as you become more peaceful and more accepting of the present moment, more being the space, then that will transmit itself to the child and affect the child. And the child will absorb your emanation, your energetic vibrational frequency, and the change will happen in that way, rather than feeling that I need to change her. The change happens when you change.
Yeah. That is to prevent her, but that is to not allow her to do things that are dangerous, or to, you know, he's not saying that. But he's saying about adjusting the way you are being, capital B, with her.
Yes.
Capital B.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for doing this web seminar. I hope you do more.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. It's a way of being present for any situation. And what you were saying is we can apply it not just to children, but to all situations.
Any situation, and it's usually the case, the most, in some people's lives, they have a variety of little challenges. But there's other people who have one predominant difficulty in their lives, whether it's another person, whether it's a health situation, or whether it's a work situation or financial problem. They have one huge challenge in their lives. And usually one would consider this huge challenge in your life as your greatest enemy, almost, the greatest burden, or as Christians would call it, my cross.
To bear.
To bear.
Yeah.
Now this can actually be turned around, and you can make that very thing that is considered your
cross to bear.
You can make that into your greatest help on the spiritual path, because it's precisely there that you can, if you can bring acceptance to that and be the space for that situation that is would usually be called bad by the mind, but it is, you can't argue with that. This is the situation right now. Can I be the space for that? Then that situation takes you into surrender and into presence.
So that, you know, so many people, when they were first talking about purchasing this book on the website, I saw a lot of messages from people saying, I hope this, you know, shows me my life purpose. I want to awaken to my life's purpose. And for a lot of people, they want that to be something grand. They want it to be, you know, saving starving children in India and Africa. They want it to be some, you know, great description or something. But what you're saying is that if we allow ourselves to be fully present with whatever our chosen function is in life and whatever difficulties might arise, that there is sacredness in the difficulty.
Yes.
If we allow it to be.
Yes, and be fully present with whatever the situation is now.
Yes.
And then go from there. So because then your inner self changes. When you're fully present with the situation, you're no longer putting up internal resistance to life.
Even if there is that thing that you call, there's something that you call background happiness. There's something that happened or needs to happen, or someone who did something.
Yes, background unhappiness.
Background unhappiness. Yes. There's something that happened or needs to. He refers to that on page 114, everybody. There's something that needs to happen in my life before I can be at peace. Something happened in the past that should not have happened. Something is happening now that should not be happening. How do we make peace with the background unhappiness of our lives?
Yes, so you recognize the background unhappiness as not content-based, but as structural. It's the structure of the egoic mind to create that. We had the same when Jenny asked her question.
Right.
We had the similar thing. The guilt feelings that she had was part of the background structure of the ego. And no matter what situation, if you haven't tackled or recognized the structure of the ego in yourself as certain thought forms that repeat themselves, no matter what situation you go into, they will come up in some new form, but basically the same structure.
I got it. I got it. So the secret to happiness, you say, there's so many people were writing about this on the web.
Yes.
The secret to happiness, everybody, page 115. There are 3 words that convey the secret of the art of living, the secret of all success and happiness. One with life. Being one with life is being one with now, you say. You then realize that you don't live your life, but life lives you. Life is the dancer, and you are the dance. I have to tell you, I love this book, but I was like, gee, I thought life was the dance, and I was the dancer. And there are a lot of people on the web who are saying the same thing. Can you explain how life is the dancer and we are the dance? Why aren't we the dancer? We're the dancer.
You are not separate from life. So whatever any form...
Life is the dancer.
Life is dancing the dance of form, one could say. Every human being and everything that exists is part of the dance of life. That which moves you, the very consciousness that animates your being, that animates every cell of your body, that produces thoughts too. The very consciousness that you are is the one universal, the one life. And that permeates everything. So the entire universe is permeated by that consciousness, by life, which is another word for God.
God.
I don't see God as an entity that is in a particular place somewhere, but as the essence, the intelligence, the animating life essence behind all life forms. It's the eternal.
The totality.
Yes.
It's the totality. You see God. You're saying that God is, your idea of God is the totality of the essence of all life form.